Hi, Math 1 students. We're back looking at the Module 9 formative assessment. And, we already made a video for page 1 for our real first proficiency, writing equations of linear functions. But what we're going to do now is really take a look at page 2. That's proficiency 2A 9.1. But before we do that, there's one problem at the bottom that is tied to that proficiency. And it's saying, looking at Jessica's, now Jessica was the person in number 2, and Erica's lines of best fit, which line best models the data? Well, as you're looking at Jessica's here, you could see that Jessica has a line that's going through the center of the data, through the middle of it. Just as importantly, we can count that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points above and 1, 2, 3, 4 points below. So you can see that it's pretty equal and balanced, having points above and below that line. By way of comparison, when you look at Erica's line right here, you can see that there are 2 points above, but quite a few below. It looks like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So whose line best models the data? We could say that Jessica's line best models the data. And we could say because there are close to the same number of points above and below the line. And that's definitely not what we saw with Erica's. Now, of course, you could also make a comment and say that the line is passing through the middle of the data. That would be good too. But especially in light of what we've been talking about recently, it's good to talk about points above and below. With that in mind, let's go to page 2. This is where we're really looking at the next 2 problems. And again, proficiency 2A is justifying a claim using the line of best fit or the regression model. So for A, B, and C, we've got a set of data, and they're saying which one would best fit the data. I think as we look at A, B, and C, I think it's pretty obvious that A is the line that is closest to all of the points, but let's explain why this choice is best. A is best, and we can write a couple of things, as the line passes through the middle of the data, or we could say the middle of the points, and there are close, here we go again, to the same number of points above and below the line. And we're going to use that reason a lot. So that would be a great way of being able to describe what's happening. Obviously, you look at some of the other scenarios and it's not quite as balanced with the same number or close to the same number of points above and below. As we take a look at number 6, and this is going to wrap up our video on this proficiency. It says, determine which of the following best fits the data provided. As we're looking at this scatter plot, we can see that in general, these points, as x gets bigger, y gets bigger, So we can think of this as positive association. And guys, what this means is positive association means that our line will have positive slope. And remember that y equals mx plus b, the number in front of x will have to be positive. So I'm going to immediately cross out b where, your m is something negative. Likewise, I'm going to cross off c. Can't have that. You can't have negative slopes. And right now we're down to a 50-50. And, as you're looking at letter A, there is a slope of 1, but your y-intercept is so big. It's way up here at 12, and you can just see if you go up 1, right 1, you'd have a line that would look something like this. That's way above your data points, and that's really not what you'd like to see. By way of comparison, though, take a look at D. D is going to be our answer. Your M is going to be 3/2, and your B, your y-intercept would be a 1. And if you went up 3, if you went 1, 2, 3 up, and if you went 2 to the right, you'd come over here. We could keep doing that. Go 1, 2, 3 up, 2 to the right, and all of a sudden, you'd see a line that looks something like this. And here we go again. This is for sure the line that is best fitting the data out of those choices. So explain your choice. D is best. As here we go again. Here's something that we can write as just a general rule of thumb. There are close to the same number of points above and below the line. And guys, that's such a great reason, justification to help out. Obviously, there was more to the story. We knew immediately with positive association that we were down to just 2 choices. And, even so, you could see that this line would be the closest to all of those points. You could, even make that argument as well. But just wanted to help you out with that proficiency 2A. We're going to be moving on to proficiency 2B in our next video.